At my 10-year anniversary, Mom showed up in black to praise my brother until my husband's cousin exposed his Christmas jail time. I should have known the moment I saw her walk through the door. My mother arrived at my 10th wedding anniversary party wearing head-to-toe black, like she was attending a funeral instead of celebrating a decade of my marriage to Marcus. The dress was deliberate. Everything my mother did was deliberate, especially when it came to my brother, Derek. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me take you back to where this really started, because this wasn't just about one ruined party. This was about 32 years of living in someone else's shadow. Growing up, I learned early that my achievements were background noise in the symphony of Derek's existence. When I graduated summa cum laude from high school, Derek, 3 years older, showed up to the ceremony drunk. Not tipsy, not had a few beers drunk. Fall down, slurring, causing a scene drunk. He stumbled into the auditorium, 20 minutes late, knocked over a chair, and started loudly asking where I was sitting. Parents around us turned and stared. My principal paused mid-sentence during her speech. I remember sitting on that stage in my white gown, watching my mother's face. I waited for her to be embarrassed, to remove him, to do something. Instead, she just smiled apologetically at the people around her and whispered explanations I couldn't hear but could easily imagine. After the ceremony, when relatives congratulated me on my scholarships, full ride to Northwestern, my mother was in the parking lot with Derek, rubbing his back while he vomited into the bushes. "He's just going through a rough patch," she told me later, as if that explained everything. "You know how sensitive he is." Sensitive. That was always her word for him. Derek wasn't irresponsible or selfish or destructive. He was sensitive. 3 years later, I got accepted into a competitive MBA program. I was 21, working 2 jobs to save money, and this acceptance felt like validation that all those sleepless nights had been worth something. My parents took me out to dinner to celebrate. Well, they invited Derek too because it wouldn't be a family dinner without everyone there. We went to this Italian place downtown, nothing fancy, but nicer than our usual spots. I remember feeling genuinely happy that night. Excited. I ordered the seafood pasta and talked about the program, about the career opportunities, about maybe working in consulting or corporate strategy. Derek sat across from me, pushing food around his plate, barely looking up. Halfway through my explanation of the curriculum, he dropped his fork. "You know what your problem is," he said, his voice cutting through my sentence like a knife. "You think you're better than everyone else." The table went silent. "Derek," my father started. "No, seriously. She sits here talking about her fancy business school like she's already some CEO. Meanwhile, she's got no real-world experience, no idea how things actually work. But sure, go ahead and waste more money on another degree you probably won't even use." My throat tightened. "That's not fair. He laughed cold and sharp. "What's not fair is listening to you brag for 2 hours straight while the rest of us pretend to care." He stood up, threw his napkin on the table, and walked out. My mother immediately went after him. My father and I sat there in silence for what felt like an eternity. Finally, he sighed and said he didn't mean it. He's just frustrated about his job situation. That was it. No apology required from Derek. No acknowledgement that he'd just gutted me in public. Just another excuse. My mother came back 10 minutes later. "He left," she said softly, sliding back into her seat. "He's upset. He feels like we don't support his dreams the way we support yours." I stared at her. "What dreams?" "He's been working part-time at the same retail job for 4 years. Everyone moves at their own pace, sweetie." And just like that, my celebration became about managing Derek's feelings. My 25th birthday was supposed to be special. Quarter-century milestone. I'd just gotten a promotion at work. Associate director at 25 felt like a huge deal. Marcus and I had been dating for 6 months, and I was genuinely happy. My parents threw me a party at their house. Nothing elaborate, just family, a few close friends, Cake and wine. Normal birthday stuff. Derek showed up an hour late with his girlfriend of 3 weeks, some girl named Ashley who looked barely old enough to drink. He didn't bring a gift, didn't say happy birthday. He just grabbed a beer from the cooler and planted himself on the couch. Around the time we were cutting cake, my aunt handed me an envelope, a gift card to my favorite bookstore along with a sweet card. As I was thanking her, Derek suddenly stood up from across the room. "This is insane," he announced to everyone. People stopped talking. Stopped mid-bite. All eyes on him. I'm sitting here watching everyone shower her with gifts and attention, and nobody even asked how I'm doing. Nobody cares that I'm struggling. Nobody cares that I can barely make rent. But sure, let's all celebrate the person who already has everything. My mother rushed over to him. "Derek, honey, this isn't the time." "When I asked the time, Mom." His voice was rising. "When is it my turn to matter?" And then, I swear I'm not making this up, he clutched his chest and started hyperventilating. "I can't breathe. I can't. I'm having a panic attack." Ashley jumped up, panicked. My mother immediately went into crisis mode, guiding him to sit down, getting him water, rubbing his back. Within minutes, my birthday party had transformed into an emergency intervention for Derek's mental health. Half the guests left early. The ones who stayed spoke in hushed, awkward tones. I never even finished opening my presents. Later that night, after everyone had gone and my mother had taken Derek home, Marcus held me while I cried in his car. "That wasn't a panic attack," Marcus said quietly. "That was manipulation." I didn't want to believe him, but deep down I knew he was right. When I graduated with my MBA 2 years later, I didn't expect a repeat performance. I thought maybe, just maybe, this one time could be about me. The ceremony was outdoors on a beautiful May afternoon. My parents came. Derek came with yet another new girlfriend. Marcus was there, beaming with pride. After the ceremony, we all went to a nearby restaurant for a celebratory lunch. I was riding high, top of my class, 3 job offers already on the table, my whole future ahead of me. We'd just ordered appetizers when Derek's girlfriend leaned forward and loudly whispered to him, "Are you going to tell them?" Derek gave her this look, like she'd just ruined a surprise, and then broke into this massive grin. "Actually, yeah." He stood up, glass in hand. "Since we're already celebrating big life moments, I figure this is the perfect time." He turned to his girlfriend, got down on one knee right there in the restaurant, and proposed. Everyone around us started clapping. Other diners, the waitstaff. His girlfriend was crying, saying yes, throwing her arms around him. And just like that, my graduation lunch became their engagement party. My mother was crying tears of joy. "Oh, Derek, I'm so happy for you." My father shook Derek's hand, grinning. Nobody said congratulations to me for the rest of the meal. When Marcus and I got engaged 8 months later, I made a decision. I told my mother privately before announcing it to the extended family, specifically so she could manage Derek's reaction. "That's wonderful, honey," she'd said, hugging me. "I'm so happy for you." Then, quieter, "Just maybe don't make a big announcement at Thanksgiving dinner. You know how Derek is. He and Ashley broke up last month, and he's really sensitive right now." So I didn't. I waited. I made the announcement quietly to a few family members over the next couple weeks, specifically avoiding any big group setting where Derek might feel overshadowed. It didn't matter. Derek called me 2 days after he found out. "Really? Marcus?" His voice dripped with disdain. "You're going to marry that guy?" "Excuse me. He's boring. He's got no personality. You're really going to spend your whole life with someone that bland?" I hung up on him. He sent a text an hour later. "Asterisk, you've changed. You used to be fun. Now you're just another corporate sellout marrying a corporate drone. Have a nice life." Asterisk, my mother called that evening. "Honey, Derek told me what happened. He's hurt that you didn't tell him personally about the engagement. He feels like you're shutting him out." I actually laughed. Mom, he called Marcus bland and said I was a sellout. How is that me shutting him out? He's just protective of you. You know how brothers are. No, I didn't know, because that's not how brothers are. That's how toxic, narcissistic people are. The wedding was 9 months later. I didn't make Derek my man of honor, obviously, but I invited him. Against my better judgment and at my mother's insistence, I invited him. He'll behave, she promised. He's been doing really well lately. He's got a new job, he's in therapy. This will be good for him. The wedding was beautiful. Outdoor venue. String lights. 200 guests. Everything I dreamed of. Derek showed up alone. His engagement had imploded months earlier. Surprise, surprise. And he was civil through the ceremony. Quiet, even. During the reception, though, he found his moment. I was making my rounds, thanking guests for coming, when I overheard him talking to my husband's co-workers at the bar. Yeah, she's always been ambitious, Derek was saying, his tone just slightly off. Sometimes I worry she's more in love with the idea of success than actual people, you know? But hey, Marcus seems fine with being arm candy for a power-driven wife. One of Marcus's colleagues, bless him, immediately walked away and told Marcus what he'd heard. Marcus didn't confront him. He didn't want to ruin our night. But I saw the hurt in his eyes. Later, I found out Derek had also told 3 separate relatives that he thought Marcus and I were rushing into things, and that he gave it 5 years max. At my own wedding. Fast forward 10 years. A decade of marriage to the love of my life. A decade of building a career I was proud of. A decade of watching Derek cycle through jobs, relationships, apartments, and crises. And a decade of my mother making excuses for every single one. Marcus and I decided to throw a real party for our 10th anniversary. We'd never done a big vow renewal or anything like that, but 10 years felt significant. We rented out a beautiful event space, invited family and friends, hired a caterer. It was going to be elegant and intimate, about 60 people. When I called my mother to invite her, the first thing she said was, "Are you inviting Derek?" I took a deep breath. Marcus and I had discussed this extensively. "No," I said, "we're not." Silence on the other end. "Mom, he's ruined every major event in my life. My graduation, my birthday, my engagement, my wedding. I'm not giving him another opportunity. He's your brother. He's a 35-year-old man who has never once been happy for me. He's going through a hard time right now. He's always going through a hard time. And you always expect me to accommodate it." Her voice got sharp. "Your father would be ashamed of you right now." That stopped me cold. My father had passed away 4 years earlier. Heart attack, sudden and devastating. And now she was weaponizing his memory. "Don't," I said quietly. "Don't do that. He always said family comes first, no matter what." Dad also used to tell Derek he needed to grow up and take responsibility for himself. Let's not pretend Dad was okay with Derek's behavior. She hung up on me. 2 days later, she called back. "I've thought about it, and I'm not coming if Derek isn't invited." My chest tightened. "That's your choice. You're really going to exclude your own brother from celebrating your marriage?" "Yes." "Fine. Then I'm not coming either." She hung up again. I cried for an hour. Marcus held me and said, "We're doing the right thing. You know we are." I knew he was right, but it still hurt. The day of the party arrived. The venue was gorgeous. Exposed brick, soft lighting, long, elegant tables. Our friends started arriving around 6. I was wearing a midnight blue dress that made me feel confident and beautiful. Marcus looked incredible in his suit. We were greeting guests, laughing, feeling genuinely joyful. And then my mother walked in, wearing black from head to toe. Black dress, black shoes, black shawl. My stomach dropped. She made a point of hugging me, stiffly, and saying in a loud voice, "Well, I decided family is more important than grudges, even if certain people disagree." People nearby glanced over, sensing tension. Marcus squeezed my hand. "Ignore it. Don't let her ruin this. I tried. I really did. But during cocktail hour, my mother moved through the crowd like a dark cloud. Every conversation I overheard her in involved Derek. It's such a shame Derek couldn't be here tonight. He's going through such a difficult time. I just wish my daughter understood how important family is. You can't just cut people out because they make mistakes. Derek's always been so sensitive. He would have loved to celebrate with his sister, but apparently that's too much to ask. She wasn't just attending. She was campaigning. I felt my jaw clench tighter with every word. Dinner was served. Speeches were scheduled after the main course. My best friend Sarah spoke first. Funny, touching, perfect. Marcus's brother gave a toast that made everyone laugh and tear up. Then my mother stood. I hadn't prepared for this. She wasn't on the speech list. "I'd like to say a few words," she announced, glass in hand. My stomach twisted. "Marriage is about forgiveness," she began. "It's about accepting people's flaws. It's about family standing by each other no matter what." She wasn't even looking at me or Marcus. She was performing for the room. I've always taught my children that family comes first, that you don't abandon people just because they're struggling. That love means being patient and understanding, even when they steal from you. The voice came from the back of the room. I turned. It was Vanessa, Marcus's cousin. She was standing up, her expression hard. My mother faltered. "Excuse me," I said, "even when they steal from you?" Vanessa stepped forward. "Because I'm curious where the line is. At what point is it okay to set boundaries with family?" "I don't know what you're—" Derek stole my mom's jewelry last Christmas. The room went dead silent. My mother's face went pale. "That's not true." "It is true," Vanessa continued, her voice steady and strong. "He came to our family Christmas party. He asked to use the bathroom. And when we went upstairs later, my mom's jewelry box had been emptied. $3,000 worth of jewelry. Gone. I couldn't breathe. We didn't report it," Vanessa went on, looking directly at my mother now, "because you called my mom and begged her not to. You said Derek was going through a hard time. You said he'd pay her back. You said it would destroy him if we involved the police." My mother was shaking her head. "You don't understand the full situation. Did he ever pay her back?" Silence. "Did he?" Vanessa pressed. "He's working on it. It's been 11 months. Another voice joined in. My cousin Rachel stood up. "He stole prescription medication from my house," Rachel said, her voice trembling but determined. 2 years ago. Took an entire bottle of painkillers from my medicine cabinet. I found out later he sold them." "That's," my mother started. "I confronted you about it," Rachel cut her off. "I told you Derek had a problem. And you told me I was being dramatic. That he'd just borrowed a few pills for his back pain." "An entire bottle isn't borrowing," Vanessa added. More people were standing now. The energy in the room had shifted completely. My uncle cleared his throat. "He borrowed $5,000 from me 3 years ago. Said it was for a business investment. I found out later it went to paying off gambling debts. He totaled my car 2 years ago while driving drunk," another cousin said. "Told me he'd swerved to avoid a deer. I found the DUI report online 6 months later. He got fired from his job at my company for harassing a female co-worker," said James, Marcus's colleague. "HR had 3 formal complaints. Your mother called my boss and tried to get him reinstated." Story after story after story. A decade of Derek's destruction, all carefully hidden by my mother, all suddenly spilling out into the open. I just stood there, frozen, as my entire family revealed secrets I'd never known. My mother's face had gone from pale to red. "How dare you?" she whispered. "How dare all of you gang up on a woman who isn't even here to defend himself? Where is he?" Vanessa asked pointedly. "Because I heard he was in jail over Christmas. Is that true?" "That's It was a misunderstanding. Was he arrested or not? My mother's hands were shaking. It was a minor incident. He got into an argument with someone at a bar. It was blown out of proportion. He assaulted someone, Vanessa said flatly. Put a guy in the hospital with a broken jaw. That's not a minor incident. I found my voice. You never told me. My mother turned to me, her eyes desperate. Because I knew you'd react exactly like this. I knew you'd turn it into another reason to shut him out. How much money have you given him? What? Over the years. How much? She looked away. Mom, how much? That's between me and my son. You took out a second mortgage on the house, my uncle said quietly. Didn't you? Everyone turned to look at him. 6 months ago, he continued, you called me asking about refinancing options. You said you needed $30,000 to pay off some debts. That was for home repairs. It was for Derek. He said it with certainty. Wasn't it? She didn't answer. You've been enabling him for 35 years, Rachel said, her voice breaking. And you've made all of us complicit by guilting us into silence. I'm his mother. My mom's voice cracked. I'm doing what mothers do. I'm protecting my child. You're not protecting him, I said, surprising myself with how steady my voice was. You're destroying him, and you've been destroying me in the process. She looked at me with tears in her eyes. I love you both, no. You love him. I'm just the collateral damage you're willing to accept. That's not fair. When has anything about this been fair? My voice was rising now. When was it fair that he ruined my graduation? My birthday? My wedding? When was it fair that you've given him tens of thousands of dollars while I've never asked you for a dime? When was it fair that you've lied to protect him and expected everyone else to do the same? I'm doing my best. Your best is enabling a criminal. The words came out harder than I intended, but I didn't take them back. My mother looked around the room at all the faces staring at her, some angry, some sad, all tired. I won't stay here and be attacked, she said finally. Nobody's attacking you, Marcus said quietly. We're just finally telling the truth. This is not how family treats each other. She grabbed her purse, hand shaking. When you're ready to apologize, you know where to find me. She walked toward the door. I wanted to stop her. Some part of me, the little girl who still wanted her mother's approval, wanted to chase after her and make it all okay. But I didn't. Marcus put his arm around me as we watched her leave. After a long moment, Vanessa raised her glass. To Emily and Marcus, she said firmly. 10 years of actual love and partnership. Here's to 50 more. Everyone raised their glasses. To Emily and Marcus. I burst into tears. The next morning, I woke up to 17 missed calls and a 3-page text from my mother. Asterisk, I cannot believe you allowed me to be humiliated like that in front of your husband's family. I came to your party despite my reservations, despite knowing Derek wasn't welcome, and that is how you repay me? By letting people attack me with lies and half-truths about your brother. Asterisk, Derek has made mistakes, yes, but he's working on himself. He's trying, and instead of supporting him like a real sister would, you've turned everyone against him. You've poisoned the whole family with your resentment. Asterisk, your father would be devastated to see what you've become. He raised you better than this. Asterisk, the text went on, but I stopped reading. Marcus found me sitting on the couch, phone in hand, staring at nothing. She sent you something, he said. It wasn't a question. I nodded. Do you want to talk about it? She said Dad would be devastated by me. Marcus sat down beside me. Your dad loved you. He was proud of you. Don't let her rewrite that. What if she's right? What if I'm being cruel? Emily. He took my hand. Your brother stole from multiple family members. He assaulted someone. He's been arrested. Your mother has been covering it up and enabling him for years. Setting a boundary isn't cruel. It's survival. I knew he was right, but years of conditioning Don't disappear overnight. The calls started coming in throughout the day. Vanessa called first. I'm sorry if I overstepped last night, but I couldn't sit there and listen to her guilt you anymore. My mom's been carrying the shame of that theft for almost a year because your mother convinced her it was somehow her fault for leaving the jewelry out. She convinced her it was her fault. She told my mom that leaving valuables visible was tempting Derek during a vulnerable time. Like it was my mom's responsibility to hide her own belongings in her own home. I felt sick. Rachel called an hour later. I've been in therapy for a year trying to process the guilt of staying silent about the pills. Your mom told me I'd be responsible if Derek spiraled because I reported him. She said his blood would be on my hands. Rachel, I'm so sorry. Don't apologize. This isn't your fault. But I needed you to know the extent of the manipulation. It wasn't just you she was controlling. It was all of us. Over the next week, more stories emerged. My aunt called to tell me Derek had stolen prescription medication from her home too. Not once, but multiple times over 3 years. I caught him red-handed the last time, she said. He was upstairs with my medicine cabinet open. When I confronted him, he claimed he was looking for Tylenol. Your mother told me it was a phase, that he was self-medicating for anxiety, and I should have compassion. Did you ever report it? Your mother begged me not to. She said it would ruin his chances of getting into rehab if he had a record. Did he go to rehab? Long pause. No. Another cousin revealed Derek had scammed him out of $7,000 for a business opportunity that never existed. Another relative shared that Derek had shown up at her workplace drunk, demanding money, and security had to remove him. Story after story, pattern after pattern, and behind every single one was my mother, smoothing things over, making excuses, paying people off, begging for silence. For days after the party, Derek called me. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. You happy now? His voice was pure venom. You've turned the entire family against me. Derek, don't pretend you care. You've been waiting for this, waiting for an excuse to destroy me. I didn't destroy you. You destroyed yourself. Fuck you. He was yelling now. You've always been jealous of me. Jealous that Mom actually gives a damn about me while you're just her perfect little overachiever who doesn't need anything. Jealous. I laughed, bitter and sharp. You think I'm jealous of you? You've spent your whole life trying to prove you're better than me. I don't have to prove anything. I am better than you. I'm better because I don't steal from family. I don't assault people. I don't manipulate and lie and destroy everyone around me. You, self-righteous. I'm done, Derek. I'm done making excuses for you. I'm done pretending your behavior is acceptable. I'm done sacrificing my peace for your comfort. Mom was right about you. You're cold. You're selfish. If setting boundaries makes me selfish, then fine. I'm selfish. I hung up. My hands were shaking, but I felt strangely calm. Lighter even. Marcus had been listening from the doorway. You okay? Yeah, I said. And I meant it. An hour later, Derek started texting. You're going to regret this. I know where you live. I know where you work. Asterisk, you think you're so safe with your perfect little life? I can ruin it all. Asterisk, you have no idea what I'm capable of. Better watch your back. I showed Marcus. His face darkened. We're going to the police. Marcus, no. These are threats. We're documenting this. We went to the police station that afternoon. The officer who took our report listened carefully, reviewed the texts, and pulled up Derek's record. He's got priors, the officer said. Assault, theft, DUI. Given his history and these explicit threats, we're going to issue a formal warning. If he contacts you again, we can pursue a restraining order. Will that just make things worse? I asked. Ma'am, people who make threats like this don't usually stop on their own. Creating a paper trail now protects you later. We filed the report. The next day, my mother called. You got the police involved? With your own brother. He threatened me, Mom. He was upset. He didn't mean it. He said he knows where I live and work. He told me to watch my back. Those are threats. You're blowing this out of proportion. No. I'm protecting myself from someone with a history of violence. He would never hurt you. He put someone in the hospital, Mom. Broke the guy's jaw. Or did you conveniently forget that? Silence. You're trying to ruin his life, she said finally. I'm trying to save mine. I hung up. Over the next few weeks, something unexpected happened. Family members started reaching out, not to give me more horror stories about Derek, but to thank me. My cousin sent a long email about how watching me set boundaries had inspired her to finally address her own toxic family dynamics. My uncle called to say he decided to stop lending money to his adult son who'd been taking advantage of him for years. Vanessa told me she'd been in therapy processing her mom's jewelry theft and that my willingness to confront the truth had helped her own healing. You gave us permission to stop pretending, she said. That's huge. But the person I was most worried about was my mother. She hadn't called in 3 weeks. No texts, no emails, nothing. Part of me was relieved, but part of me was heartbroken. 5 weeks after the anniversary party, I was at work when security called my desk. Ms. Chin, there's someone here trying to access the building. He's claiming to be your brother. He's agitated. My blood ran cold. Don't let him up. I'm calling the police. We've already contacted them. Just wanted to let you know. I grabbed my phone and called Marcus. Derek's here. At my building. I'm on my way. Don't leave your office. 10 minutes felt like hours. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Come down and talk to me like an adult, or I'm coming up there. Then, asterisk, this is your fault. All of it. Asterisk, then. Asterisk, you owe Mom an apology. You owe me an apology. Asterisk, I forwarded everything to the police report email the officer had given me. Marcus arrived before the police did. He came straight up to my office, and I've never been more grateful to see another human being. Security has him in the lobby, Marcus said. Police are 2 minutes out. We went down together. Derek was pacing near the security desk, arguing with the guard. When he saw me, his face twisted. There she is, the perfect daughter who can't be bothered to respect her own family. Derek, you need to leave. I need to leave? I need to, he laughed, sharp and bitter. You got me arrested, Emily. You called the cops on me. Your own brother. You threatened me. I documented it. I was venting. I was upset. You told me to watch my back. You said you knew where I lived and worked. Those are threats. I would never actually hurt you. You put a stranger in the hospital. You stole from multiple family members. Why would I trust that you wouldn't hurt me? 2 police officers walked through the front doors. Derek's eyes went wide. You called the cops? Again. Sir, we need you to step outside. One of the officers said calmly. This is insane. I just came to talk to my sister, sir. Outside. Now. They escorted him out. Marcus and I gave statements. The officers told us they'd be charging Derek with criminal trespass and violating the stay-away order they'd issued after his threats. We're also recommending you file for a formal restraining order, the officer said. Given his escalating behavior, we filed the paperwork that afternoon. That evening, my mother called. Hysterical. He's been arrested again. Because of you. Because of his choices, Mom. He came to apologize to you. He was trying to make things right. He sent me threatening texts and showed up at my workplace. That's not an apology. You're tearing this family apart. The family was already torn apart. You just refused to see it. She hung up on me. An hour later, she sent an email. Subject line, final attempt. Emily, asterisk, I've spent the last month reflecting on everything that happened at your party. I want you to know that I'm willing to forgive you for the humiliation I endured, but only if you're willing to acknowledge your part in this situation. Asterisk asterisk Derek is struggling, yes. But he's still your brother. He still deserves compassion and support. The fact that you've involved the police, twice now, shows a fundamental lack of understanding about what family means. Asterisk asterisk I'm willing to move forward. But I need you to asterisk asterisk 1. Drop the restraining order asterisk asterisk 2. Apologize to Derek for the damage you've caused to his reputation asterisk asterisk 3. Attend family therapy with all of us to work through these issues asterisk asterisk. If you're not willing to do these things, then I have to accept that you've chosen your pride over your family. That breaks my heart, but I can't continue to reach out to someone who refuses to take accountability. Asterisk I love you, but I won't enable your vendetta against your brother. Mom, I read it 3 times. Then I wrote back, Mom, I don't need your forgiveness because I haven't done anything wrong. Asterisk, I set boundaries. I protected myself. I refused to continue enabling destructive behavior. Asterisk asterisk you've spent 35 years covering up for Derek, paying his debts, lying to family, manipulating people into silence. You've convinced yourself that's love, but it's not. It's enabling. And it's hurt everyone involved, including Derek. Asterisk asterisk I'm not dropping the restraining order. I'm not apologizing for protecting myself. And I'm not attending therapy with someone who refuses to acknowledge reality. Asterisk asterisk if you want a relationship with me, it has to be one where you respect my boundaries, where you don't weaponize guilt, where you don't prioritize Derek's comfort over everyone else's safety. Asterisk if you can't do that, then I guess we don't have a relationship right now. Asterisk I love you, but I love myself too. And I'm done sacrificing one for the other. Asterisk Emily, I hit send before I could second-guess myself. The silence that followed was both terrifying and peaceful. No calls, no texts, no emails. For the first time in my life, I wasn't managing my mother's emotions or walking on eggshells around Derek's volatility. It felt like learning to breathe again after holding my breath for 3 decades. The restraining order hearing was scheduled for 3 weeks later. I was terrified. The idea of sitting in a courtroom, facing Derek, having to recount everything in front of a judge, it made my stomach turn. But Marcus held my hand and said, You've got evidence. You've got witnesses. You've got truth on your side. The night before the hearing, Vanessa called. I'm coming tomorrow to testify if they need me. Rachel and my mom are coming too. You don't have to do that. Yes, we do. This isn't just about you anymore. It's about all of us. We're done being silent. I cried. The courtroom was smaller than I expected, more intimate, more suffocating. Derek sat on one side with a public defender. He wouldn't look at me. My mother sat behind him in the gallery, still dressed in black. On my side, Marcus, Vanessa, Rachel, and 4 other family members who'd been affected by Derek's behavior over the years. The judge reviewed the evidence, the threatening texts, the workplace confrontation, Derek's criminal history, witness statements. Derek's lawyer argued that it was a family dispute blown out of proportion, that Derek had been upset and said things he didn't mean, that a restraining order would devastate his ability to maintain family relationships and find employment. Then it was our turn. My lawyer presented everything methodically. The threats, the pattern of escalation, the assault charge from Christmas, the theft allegations, the substance abuse. Your Honor, this isn't a family squabble. This is a documented pattern of threatening and criminal behavior. Ms. Chen has every right to feel unsafe. The judge asked if I wanted to speak. I stood up, legs shaking. I don't want to hurt my brother, I said. But I can't keep sacrificing my safety for his comfort. I've spent my entire life making myself smaller so he could feel bigger. And I'm done. I just want to live my life without fear. The judge nodded. Mr. Zhao, do you have anything to say? Derek stood. She's lying about most of this. Yeah, I sent some texts when I was angry. But I'd never actually hurt her. She's my sister. This whole thing is her way of punishing me for not being perfect like her. Mr. Zhao, You have a criminal record that includes assault and theft. Why should this court believe you're not a threat to your sister?" Derek had no answer. The judge granted the restraining order. 1 year, renewable. Derek was to stay at least 500 feet away from me, my home, and my workplace at all times. "If you violate this order, Mr. Zhao, you will be arrested. Do you understand?" "Yes, Your Honor." As we filed out of the courtroom, my mother tried to catch my eye. I looked away. Outside, Vanessa hugged me. "You did it." "We did it," I corrected. That night, my mother sent another email. "I sat in that courtroom today and watched my daughter destroy her brother. I don't know who you are anymore. The Emily I raised would never be this cruel. I hope you're happy. You got your restraining order. You got your revenge. I hope it was worth losing your family over. Don't contact me unless you're ready to apologize and make things right." I didn't respond, but I did cry, because even though I knew I'd done the right thing, it still hurt to lose my mother. Marcus found me on the couch, wrapped me in a blanket, and just held me while I sobbed. "She might come around eventually," he said softly, "but even if she doesn't, you did what you had to do." 3 weeks passed. Rachel started a group chat with all the family members who'd been affected by Derek. We called it Breaking the Silence. We shared stories, supported each other, and slowly started to process years of manipulation and enabling. "My therapist said what your mom did is called triangulation," Rachel explained during one of our coffee meetups. "She'd tell each of us different versions of events, so we never compared notes. That's how she kept the secrets." "And the guilt," Vanessa added. "She made each of us feel like we were the only ones struggling with Derek. Like if we spoke up, we'd be the problem." Exactly. Classic manipulation tactic. Understanding the psychology behind it helped. Not completely, but enough to start healing. My birthday came around 6 weeks after the hearing. I decided to throw a small dinner party. Just Marcus, Vanessa, Rachel, and a few close friends. Nothing big. Just people who genuinely cared about me. No Derek. No mom. No drama. We went to a quiet Italian restaurant, ordered too much wine, and laughed until our sides hurt. At one point, Vanessa raised her glass. "To Emily, for teaching us that protecting yourself isn't selfish, it's survival." "To Emily," everyone echoed. I felt tears prick my eyes, but they were good tears. Healing tears. For the first time in my life, my birthday was actually about me. 2 days later, my mother called. I stared at the phone, debating whether to answer. Marcus saw my face. "You don't have to." "I know." But I answered anyway. "Hello." "Emily." Her voice was different, smaller, tired. "Can we talk? In person?" "Why?" "Because I need to say some things, and I need to say them to your face." Against my better judgment, I agreed to meet her for coffee. We met at a neutral location, a Starbucks halfway between our homes. She looked older than I remembered, worn down. We sat across from each other in uncomfortable silence for a long moment. Finally, she spoke. "I've been seeing a therapist." I blinked, surprised. "You have?" "Your uncle insisted, after everything that happened. He said if I didn't get help, he was cutting me off too." She paused. "A lot of people have cut me off." "I'm sorry, don't apologize. You were right. About everything." I didn't know what to say. I've spent the last 2 months in therapy, trying to understand why I did what I did. Why I chose Derek over everyone else. Over you. She took a shaky breath. "And the truth is, I don't have a good answer. My therapist says it's about guilt. That when Derek was born, I had postpartum depression. I wasn't bonded with him the way I was with you, and I've spent his entire life trying to make up for that." "Mom, let me finish. Please." I nodded. "I convinced myself that you didn't need me the way he did. You were smart, capable, successful. You had Marcus. You had your career. Derek had nothing. and I thought that meant he needed me more. She wiped her eyes, but I wasn't helping him. I was enabling him, and I was destroying you in the process. I was destroying the whole family. Why are you telling me this now? Because Derek got arrested again last week. 4th DUI. He's in jail, and this time I'm not bailing him out. I stared at her. What? My therapist helped me see that every time I bail him out, I'm telling him his actions don't have consequences. I'm teaching him that he can do whatever he wants because Mom will fix it. She looked down. So I'm not fixing it anymore. How is he? Angry. He's called me every name in the book. Told me I'm a terrible mother. That I'm abandoning him. Her voice cracked. And maybe I am. But my therapist says sometimes the most loving thing you can do is let someone face the consequences of their choices. We sat in silence for a while. I'm not asking for forgiveness, she said finally. I know I don't deserve it. I just wanted you to know that I'm trying. I'm trying to understand what I did wrong. I'm trying to be better. That's good, Mom. That's really good. Can I ask you something? Okay. Do you think we can ever fix this? Us. I thought about it carefully. I don't know, but I'm willing to try. With boundaries. What kind of boundaries? No talk about Derek unless I ask. No guilt trips. No manipulation. If I say no to something, you respect it. And if I mess up, then we deal with it. But I won't go back to how things were. I can't. She nodded slowly. Fair enough. The next few months were awkward. My mother and I started having coffee once a week. She told me about her therapy sessions. I told her about my life, carefully, cautiously. She asked about Marcus's new job, about my promotion, about our plans to adopt a dog. She didn't bring up Derek unless I asked. And when I did ask, she was honest. He's in a treatment program, court-ordered. It's a year-long intensive rehab. He's angry, but he's there. Do you think it'll work? I don't know. I hope so, but I'm not holding my breath. It was the most realistic thing I'd ever heard her say about Derek. One afternoon, about 4 months after our first coffee meeting, she asked if she could come to our house for dinner. Just me, she clarified. I know Derek isn't welcome. I'm not asking to change that. Marcus and I discussed it, decided to give it a shot. She brought wine and flowers. She complimented our home. She asked Marcus about his work with genuine interest. Over dinner, she said something that surprised me. I want you to know I'm proud of you. I don't think I've said that enough over the years. I was so focused on Derek's struggles that I never celebrated your successes the way I should have. And I'm sorry. I felt something crack open in my chest. Thank you. That means a lot. You've built a beautiful life. You and Marcus. You deserve to be celebrated. For the first time in a long time, I felt seen by my mother. 6 months after the restraining order hearing, Derek completed his rehab program. My mother called to tell me, he's out. He's in a sober living house. He's got a sponsor. How is he? Different. Calmer. He's not the same person who went in. Is he angry at me? Long pause. I think he's angry at himself. He wrote you a letter. His therapist encouraged it. He asked if I'd give it to you, but I told him that was up to you. I'll think about it. 2 weeks later, I told her I was ready. She gave me the letter in a sealed envelope. I waited until I was home with Marcus to open it. Emily, asterisk, I don't expect you to read this. I don't expect you to forgive me. I don't even know if I deserve the chance to say this. But my therapist says I need to take accountability, so here goes. Asterisk, asterisk, I've spent the last 6 months in rehab learning about addiction, about mental health, about the ways I've hurt people. And the hardest part has been accepting that you were right about me. Asterisk, asterisk, I am selfish. I am destructive. I have spent my entire life making everything about me, and I've left a trail of damage in my wake. Asterisk, asterisk, I stole from family. I lied. I manipulated. I blamed everyone else for my problems. And worst of all, I ruined every single important moment of your life because I couldn't stand not being the center of attention. Asterisk, asterisk, your graduation, your birthday, your engagement, your wedding, your anniversary. I destroyed all of it because I was jealous and bitter and so deeply insecure that I couldn't let you have anything that didn't include me. Asterisk, asterisk, Mom enabled me. I know that now. Every time she made excuses for me, every time she paid my debts, every time she begged people to give me another chance, she was teaching me that I didn't have to change, that someone would always clean up my messes. Asterisk, asterisk, but you refused. You set boundaries. You said no. And even though I hated you for it at the time, it was the wake-up call I needed. Asterisk, asterisk, I'm not going to ask for your forgiveness. I'm not going to ask to be part of your life again. I know I destroyed that chance years ago. Asterisk, asterisk, but I want you to know that I'm sorry. I'm genuinely, deeply sorry for everything I put you through. You deserved better. You deserved a brother who celebrated you, supported you, protected you. Asterisk instead. You got me. Asterisk, I'm working on being better. Not for you, not for Mom, but for me. Because I can't keep living like this. Asterisk, asterisk, I hope you're happy. I hope Marcus treats you the way you deserve. I hope you never have to think about me again. Asterisk, Derek, I read it twice. Marcus asked, what do you want to do? Nothing, I said. I don't need to respond. This was for him, not for me. Do you believe he means it? Maybe, but it doesn't change anything. He still did what he did. An apology doesn't erase that. You're allowed to not forgive him. I know. I put the letter in a drawer and didn't look at it again. I blinked, surprised. You have. Your uncle insisted, after everything that happened. He said if I didn't get help, he was cutting me off too. She paused. A lot of people have cut me off. I'm sorry, don't apologize. You were right. About everything. I didn't know what to say. I've spent the last 2 months in therapy, trying to understand why I did what I did. Why I chose Derek over everyone else. Over you. She took a shaky breath. And the truth is, I don't have a good answer. My therapist says it's about guilt. That when Derek was born, I had postpartum depression. I wasn't bonded with him the way I was with you. And I've spent his entire life trying to make up for that. Mom, let me finish. Please. I nodded. I convinced myself that you didn't need me the way he did. You were smart, capable, successful. You had Marcus. You had your career. Derek had nothing. And I thought that meant he needed me more. She wiped her eyes. But I wasn't helping him. I was enabling him. And I was destroying you in the process. I was destroying the whole family. Why are you telling me this now? Because Derek got arrested again last week. 4th DUI. He's in jail, and this time I'm not bailing him out. I stared at her. What? My therapist helped me see that every time I bail him out, I'm telling him his actions don't have consequences. I'm teaching him that he can do whatever he wants because Mom will fix it. She looked down. So I'm not fixing it anymore. How is he? Angry. He's called me every name in the book. Told me I'm a terrible mother. That I'm abandoning him. Her voice cracked. And maybe I am. But my therapist says sometimes the most loving thing you can do is let someone face the consequences of their choices. We sat in silence for a while. I'm not asking for forgiveness, she said finally. I know I don't deserve it. I just wanted you to know that I'm trying. I'm trying to understand what I did wrong. I'm trying to be better. That's good, Mom. That's really good. Can I ask you something? Okay. Do you think we can ever fix this? Us. I thought about it carefully. I don't know, but I'm willing to try. With boundaries. What kind of boundaries? No talk about Derek unless I ask. No guilt trips. No manipulation. If I say no to something, you respect it. And if I mess up, then we deal with it. But I won't go back to how things were. I can't. She nodded slowly. Fair enough. The next few months were awkward. My mother and I started having coffee once a week. She told me about her therapy sessions. I told her about my life, carefully, cautiously. She asked about Marcus's new job, about my promotion, about our plans to adopt a dog. She didn't bring up Derek unless I asked. And when I did ask, she was honest. He's in a treatment program, court-ordered. It's a year-long intensive rehab. He's angry, but he's there. Do you think it'll work? I don't know. I hope so, but I'm not holding my breath. It was the most realistic thing I'd ever heard her say about Derek. One afternoon, about 4 months after our first coffee meeting, she asked if she could come to our house for dinner. Just me, she clarified. I know Derek isn't welcome. I'm not asking to change that. Marcus and I discussed it, decided to give it a shot. She brought wine and flowers. She complimented our home. She asked Marcus about his work with genuine interest. Over dinner, she said something that surprised me. I want you to know I'm proud of you. I don't think I've said that enough over the years. I was so focused on Derek's struggles that I never celebrated your successes the way I should have. And I'm sorry. I felt something crack open in my chest. Thank you. That means a lot. You've built a beautiful life. You and Marcus. You deserve to be celebrated. For the first time in a long time, I felt seen by my mother. 6 months after the restraining order hearing, Derek completed his rehab program. My mother called to tell me, he's out. He's in a sober living house. He's got a sponsor. How is he? Different. Calmer. He's not the same person who went in. Is he angry at me? Long pause. I think he's angry at himself. He wrote you a letter. His therapist encouraged it. He asked if I'd give it to you, but I told him that was up to you. I'll think about it. 2 weeks later, I told her I was ready. She gave me the letter in a sealed envelope. I waited until I was home with Marcus to open it. Emily, asterisk, I don't expect you to read this. I don't expect you to forgive me. I don't even know if I deserve the chance to say this. But my therapist says I need to take accountability, so here goes. Asterisk, asterisk, I've spent the last 6 months in rehab learning about addiction, about mental health, about the ways I've hurt people. And the hardest part has been accepting that you were right about me. Asterisk, asterisk, I am selfish. I am destructive. I have spent my entire life making everything about me, and I've left a trail of damage in my wake. Asterisk, asterisk, I stole from family. I lied. I manipulated. I blamed everyone else for my problems. And worst of all, I ruined every single important moment of your life because I couldn't stand not being the center of attention. Asterisk, asterisk, your graduation, your birthday, your engagement, your wedding, your anniversary. I destroyed all of it because I was jealous and bitter and so deeply insecure that I couldn't let you have anything that didn't include me. Asterisk, asterisk, Mom enabled me. I know that now. Every time she made excuses for me, every time she paid my debts, every time she begged people to give me another chance, she was teaching me that I didn't have to change, that someone would always clean up my messes. Asterisk, asterisk, but you refused. You set boundaries. You said no. And even though I hated you for it at the time, it was the wake-up call I needed. Asterisk, asterisk, I'm not going to ask for your forgiveness. I'm not going to ask to be part of your life again. I know I destroyed that chance years ago. Asterisk, asterisk, but I want you to know that I'm sorry. I'm genuinely, deeply sorry for everything I put you through. You deserved better. You deserved a brother who celebrated you, supported you, protected you. Asterisk instead. You got me. Asterisk, I'm working on being better. Not for you, not for Mom, but for me. Because I can't keep living like this. Asterisk, asterisk, I hope you're happy. I hope Marcus treats you the way you deserve. I hope you never have to think about me again. Asterisk, Derek, I read it twice. Marcus asked, what do you want to do? Nothing, I said. I don't need to respond. This was for him, not for me. Do you believe he means it? Maybe, but it doesn't change anything. He still did what he did. An apology doesn't erase that. You're allowed to not forgive him. I know. I put the letter in a drawer and didn't look at it again.